everybody, and I mean that literally. And I hope you all enjoyed your Thanksgiving holiday for those that celebrated it. Now, I'm just a simple man, and my name is Noah Foster, and welcome once again to another stacked episode of 205 Live Matters, where this week we will discuss, since they did take a one-week hiatus, again, for whatever reason, everything that's happened the past week in Cruiserweight Wrestling. We are going to discuss the first ever match on NXT TakeOver pre-show involving Cruiserweights Angel Garza, Isaiah Scott Swerve, the two Cruiserweight Championship matches that took place under NXT banner at Survivor Series and this week's episode of NXT, as well as this week's episode 205 Live, which was a milestone in the brand's history. But before all that, of course, allow me to introduce you, of course, to my co-host for those that are tuning in for the first time ever. We are what you would call the Simple Holiday. For he is a family man. He has a renowned, vast knowledge on Cruiserweight Wrestling and WWF and WCW for that matter. He has his own little series where he gives you breaks, opinions, and rundowns of wrestling for a week. He has more time on his hand, I think, than I do. And, of course, he's just a good-hearted fellow. It's my friend here, the holiday, Mr. Christopher Mace. Chris, how are you? How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, Thanksgiving was good. Quality time with the family, getting to talk to my daughters. It was a good, fun weekend. But like I said, reality's tomorrow and getting to go back to work tomorrow. So always reality of the real world.
Yeah, you can only relax for so long before the world gets back on track. And it's like, here we go again. At least tomorrow I have his church and then I can come home and continue, enjoying the last bit of it. But then come Monday, it's work and finals week. Lord help me. But that's the days ahead. Let's go ahead and talk about what's been happening in Cruiserweight Wrestling, because holy macro, they've been busy all over the place. NXT, 205 Live, Survivor Series, fighting against Raw and SmackDown, representing the black and gold and the purple and orange. It has been a stacked week for the Cruiserweight division, especially the newcomers that's pretty much been taking the OGs to school the last several weeks. So let's go ahead and start from humble beginnings. For those of you who don't know, last week there was no episode 205 Live after SmackDown for reasons. Basically, what they did was they replayed NXT, which was basically a super show encompassing everything about Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT because it was Survivor Series weekend. But before we got to Survivor Series, as we progressed into the weekend, Saturday marked NXT TakeOver War Games #3. But they did something special here with the Cruiserweights, as their pre-show, which of course is always a 30-minute thing, and a better pre-show than, the other rosters. Even though Pat McAfee, I'm still like, shorts dude, really. Anyway, Pat McAfee, Charlie Caruso, and Sam Roberts, who people can't stand when he talks, it seems. I like how they really let the crowd hear what they were said, too, so they could really react to what they were saying. It's like our opinions actually mattered, because as soon as Sam Roberts started talking shit, he got booed out the building. But anyway, within like 10 minutes of the pre-show, we had our first ever wrestling match on an NXT pre-show involving the Cruiserweights, two of the newest comers to the NXT Cruiserweight division, and two of the highest rising stars out of the NXT Breakout tourney as well. Isaiah Swerve Scott, I'm getting it right now, versus Angel Garza. Angel Garza, of course, coming off recently, as we discussed in our last episode, how he faced Leo Rush in an NXT Cruiserweight Championship match in his stellar opener for NXT. But it wasn't without a little bit of controversy, per se, since he feels like Leo didn't truly beat him. His foot was on the rope during that pinfall. And it's been held over Leo Rush's head ever since, and Angel Garza is demanding a match. And still is in Leo Rush's head, as we'll get to. But anyway, it was Isaiah's first card for Angel Garza and a very stellar opener. So, Chris, what was your thoughts about this match? The first ever NXT TakeOver pre-show match.
I was actually surprised they did a pre-show match because they never have before any of the NXT takeovers in existence. So this was a first in history, and for it to be a first in history, for it to be a cruiserweight match is making a statement. They're doing the formula like I've been suggesting for the longest time. If you want a hot open to the crowd, you put two cruiserweights out there and let them have a 15, 20-minute match and let them tear the house down and tell a story. So they did that here. Angel Garza, like I said, and Isaiah Swerve Scott, they're both the future of the business. They both performed at a high level for being a pre-show match. They see its difference. They didn't treat it like a pre-show match. They treated it like it was the opening match takeover. Both performed at a high level. Angel Garza winning, I felt like it was the right thing for him to win, but I wouldn't have been surprised if Isaiah Swerve Scott had won. That could have made an interesting wrinkle in the dynamic for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Well, both men have definitely gained momentum on the 205 Live brand and NXT for that matter. This match really could have gone either way, and it was called, of course, by NXT's own Maranello, Beth Phoenix, and Nigel McGuinness, the best three-person booth in wrestling right now, in my opinion. And I thought this was a very star match. First off, good grief, it was like a freaking disco ball was melted and turned into Angel Garza's pants. Good lord. Anyway, immediately as soon as the match was about to start, he's like, stop! He wanted to go rip the pants off, denied. Both men had a fast opener, they exchanged, and both men knew each other very well. They both went for what's being known as the Garza position, where they're on a knee, and he's like, hands out. And it's like both men, they see what they're doing to each other, and then they both slap each other in the face. A lot of back and forth action and also equal exchanges. Very good mind play here. Handstand cartwheel splash on knees as Swerve gained advantage a little bit, then an uppercut to the back of the neck. Ouch. Splash roll through faraway slam though with Garza capitalizing, and then the pants come off, and basically we went into 100 gear. He tossed the pants to his face, gets a super kick in, Garza gets a near fall. Springboard inverted suplex, super kick, very nice follow-up combination, and then you get kind of like a shattered dreams position, but instead he goes for drop kicks to both the inner thighs of Swerve and goes for another fall here. Not enough. Following that, though, Swerve, he gets underhook body slam after a wicked discus forearm. And then both men are exchanging open hand chops to the chest, literally collapsing each other's chest cavities. Eventually, both men meet each other at the exact same time and drop each other. However, following this, it was like shades of Private Party, if you know what I'm talking about, AEW fans, where Garza, he counters a back body drop by ricocheting himself off the ropes and then countering that into a power bomb, into a nice near fall. That was very clever, very intuitive. And then following this, we get Death by Driver on the apron, followed by double stomp, Swerve about to get capitalizing, and then the crowd starts chanting, "You got Swerve." That was brilliant. I could see that going over. And then he goes for, Swerve at a house call, his finisher, that wicked kick to the side of the head that ricochets it. I thought that was it. No, it was not. He kicked out. Nope, foot on the rope, just literally kicked out. Near fall. And then we go into some shenanigans, as Garza's known for. The ref pushed up in the corner, goes for low blow, that gets countered. And then Swerve goes for a kick, that gets stopped. He eats a midsection shot, and then gets caught basically into a wing clipper, which is that double underhook, just slams him, releases all of that power on the upper body, and Garza wins in a very clean, fun, competitive pre-show opener. I thought this was a very compelling match, and I really do hope they do this going forward. This was brilliant. So, with that being said, though, we of course got War Games, which was a stellar pay-per-view, definitely pay-per-view of the weekend. Again, NXT killed it. But then we go into Survivor Series. For the first time ever, it was Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. I guess you can think about what brand I was representing. And then, of course, there was like, okay, how we thought the Cruiserweights going to play into this? And then we also remembered, oh, shoot, it's one of the big four. It has a 2-hour pre-show. Dear God. Mm-hmm. But I will say this, I did enjoy the NXT Cruiserweight Championship being showcased in a Raw versus SmackDown type setting where Leo Rush represents only 205 Live, but what 205 Live truly is nowadays and seems to be becoming NXT, because he represented NXT as the champion. And so we had Leo Rush versus 2 former Cruiserweight champions and 2 former members of the 205 Live roster, Akira Tozawa representing Raw and Kalisto representing SmackDown. And I'll admit, once again, when it comes to the Cruiserweights, they give you a nice, hot opener. But this is why I always keep saying that 205 Live matters and does not belong on the freaking kickoff show. Now, the reason I'm not going to go on a tirade about this tonight is because the Cruiserweights, they are finding their place under NXT. So it's not so much 205 Live being neglected, it is NXT redirecting. And also, when I look at the Survivor Series card, this is one of the best cards in recent memory, and I can see right now you had no room for anything else on the card. But I do like the fact they did involve this, and it counted towards the scores, because this was NXT's first victory of the night, and I was very happy to see that. Chris, your thoughts on this triple threat NXT Cruiserweight Championship match?
I thought it was really well done. I was whooping. I was like, okay, we talked about this before on the holiday break when we talked about Survivor Series. We both predicted we were going to get a triple threat match. We didn't think it was going to be for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, but it came that way. We both definitely didn't pick the right participants, but they put the Zawa in there and they put Kalisto in there, and it made sense. They're both former Cruiserweight champions, so it made sense for them to be in the match. And I thought it was really well done. It was fast paced. It was exciting. Kept you on the edge of your seat. And at the end of it, you're going, "Oh my God, this!" It was excitement towards the end of, all right, who's going to win this? And then Leo Rush was able to pull it off, giving NXT the first point. So
Yeah, that close too.
well done. The only thing I would say is I wish if they had not just announced this match the same day. I wish
Yeah,
they would have, promoted a little bit. It could have had a little bit of storytelling going into the match, where they are Raw already picked their guy to take the Cruiserweight Championship. SmackDown already tried to pick their guy to take the Cruiserweight Championship from NXT and built it somehow into the storyline. That's the only critique I have about it.
yeah, I feel like that instead of the whole NXT replay after SmackDown, you could have dedicated even half an hour after SmackDown building this match, showcasing Leo Rush representing 205 Live in NXT. But the fact that it's NXT versus SmackDown versus Raw, maybe a Raw and SmackDown guy, because they're all were there in Chicago, could have came in and challenged him. Boom, we got the match set up. It could have done something like that. They could have done like some miniature like Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT 205 Live special, but it is what it is, and I'll give them credit. They did pull something out of the bag that was worth watching. So I'm not going to be harshly critiqued on it. And really, it was more about Raw and SmackDown, it seemed, versus NXT. As you saw moments in the match, Akira Tozawa and Kalisto, they gave a look to Leo Rush, and Leo knew, all right, I see what's going on here. It was mostly a 2-on-1 handicap match. Because, again,
Yeah.
this the first time ever, it was Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. And clearly, you knew who Raw and SmackDown were gunning after, not each other. They were gunning after the black and gold. Because, let's face it, when it comes to brand and caring about your brand, the only people that care about their brand is NXT. Raw and SmackDown's like, okay, I'm here, I'm getting paid. But they know how much NXT has been getting momentum, hence they had to prove a point. And they were not going to let the NXT superstars go above them. Well, guess what? That didn't happen here. But again, all three men I fought were showcased very strong. In the very beginning, you had exchange between all three, and then it really picked up with a freestand because he didn't use his hands because of how short he is or how high he got off the ring. Kalisto goes for that springboard off the ropes, gets caught, nearly gets suplexed by Akira Tozawa. Then he goes later on again for it, and then Leo Rush, he gets off his own handstand springboard back elbow strike, takes out both men. There were moments in times where it was just Leo Rush and Akira Tozawa. And of course, later on during that match, when it was just those two, I get one of my favorite moves by Akira Tozawa. That big out jab that dropped Leo where he stood. And then Kalisto, he gets taken out, of course, by Akira Tozawa. Akira once again controlling the ring, making it a 1-on-1. Then later on, Akira and Kalisto, they are at the top rope, and I'm like, uh-oh. Am I going to superplex Leo Rush off the top rope? But somehow, and this was really surprising to me, it looks like Leo Rush literally grabbed them as soon as they tried to execute the move and pulled off an amazing avalanche double Spanish fly. Now, truth be told, all three men suffered for it, but I figured help alleviated the impact Leo Rush withstood because he carried the move. He didn't sustain it as much. I thought this was very brilliant. Fun, this Leo Rush, he gains control, and then there's just I don't know what the hell you call the last 15 seconds of this exchange. Kicks, counters, kicks, suplex galores, and then Leo gets a flurry of strikes in, 7 or 8 strikes in. Akira Tozawa, though, he goes for the roundhouse kick, snap back, underthrough, snap, suplex, with a bridge for a cover. Near fall, but Kalisto breaks it up. But this is how ingenious this was. And I thought for a moment the ref, I gotta be honest, I thought Kalisto won it here. Because Kalisto stumps Akira Tozawa's torso and then rolls Leo Rush over, literally folds him in half in a package cover. And I'm seeing the ref 1, 2, no! Oh my gosh, the freaking Cruiserweight title almost went to SmackDown. That close. I was like, damn! Anyway, following this, Leo, he somehow gains control and he kicks Kalisto's head off. And then, basically from here, we get a step-up Leo Dozo as Kalisto regains control after, jabbing words. Akira Tozawa and Kalisto jabbed words a whole damn lot during this match. And then he gets a step-up Leo Dozo, and it's like, oh crap, Kalisto's going to win this. Nope! Bam! Akira Tozawa with a shiny wizard breaks the pinfall and knocks both Kalisto and himself out of the ring. But Akira Tozawa, he gains enough whereabouts to go back in the ring, sees Lio Rush is down, and goes for his top rope senton bomb. And nails it. And I'm like, oh crap, Akira Tozawa, he can finally win this. He'll break the curse of his first ring. No. Did not happen. Another near fall, but Kalisto somehow storms it at the last second, breaks it up. And then finally, Akira and Kalisto had enough of each other and like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And they're both duking it out, and eventually Kalisto, he kicks Akira out, pulls out the Salido del Sol, and before he could go for a cover, because both men could not capitalize on each other, Lio Rush, he gains enough wherewithal, see what's happening in the ring, and pulls off that beautiful, extended, split-legged, bodied frog splash called the Final Hour, and pins Kalisto 1, 2, 3 to retain the NXT Cruiserweight Championship and pick up the first win of the night for NXT on Survivor Series. And by the way, for those of you who haven't watched, NXT won easily, 4-2 to 1. Raw did the worst. I could not be happy. But also, damn, what a wild 10-minute match. Well done by all three. All right. So before we get into 205 Live, the Cruiserweights were not done there, and neither was Lio Rush. I must say, Lio Rush, since coming back, has been a phenomenal Cruiserweight champion, and Cruiserweight in general. You really can tell he's really gotten his life back in order because he is owning what he's doing. And once again, the man of the hour was in action. Ironically, against the man he did not pin. But some reason, and I don't even know why, it was Lio Rush just 3 days later defending again the NXT Cruiserweight Championship after NXT celebrated the victory at Survivor Series. I gotta get that shirt. Yay. He defended his Cruiserweight title against the stamina monster himself, Akira Tozawa. And once again, the man came to collect and he killed it, but Akira Tozawa came in within a breath, I think, of becoming Cruiserweight champion. Chris, tell me through your thoughts and your moments on this match, and do you think Akira Tozawa had a right to a rematch one-on-one for the Cruiserweight title?
If you make it think about a storyline, if they had done something backstage or done it on Raw or something like that, where they had said he had come out and said, "Hey, yeah, you retained that Cruiserweight Championship, but you didn't pin me, you pinned Kalisto, so I want my one-on-one match against you, see if you can beat me," that would have made more sense. That's the only thing, the loophole you have here is that they didn't tell this story. Like, to me, okay, I can understand just from using logical aspect of it. I can understand, okay, well, you did pin Kalisto, you didn't pin Akira Tozawa, so therefore I can see why he's getting this matchup for the Cruiserweight Championship. But people want their suspension of disbelief to be, they want the story to be told. They want to see explain to me how he gets the title shot. Some people aren't going to use that logic and go, okay, well, if you think about it, do it this way or this way. This is how we got to this point. But either way, like I said, the match was incredible. I thought it was an awesome match. I thought Akira Tozawa at some points had the match. Like I said, I always liked Akira Tozawa. I said hopefully one day he gets his opportunity to regain that NXT Cruiserweight Championship, but I knew it wasn't going to be today, so I was glad Lio Rush was able to retain.
Yeah, but there are some wicked spots in this match. Good Lord. So, all right. Jeez, so much wrestling. This has got to be the most Cruiserweight wrestling I think I've watched in 1 week. So, yeah. Before this match began, though, we get recaps, of course, again, of the long-range story that's going on with Lio Rush right now and his Cruiserweight title reign. Angel Garza, who is still obviously on Lio Rush's mind, because we also found out from War Games exclusively that after Angel Garza won in his pre-show match, Lio Rush slapped the taste out of his mouth and dropped him where he stood. So apparently Lio Rush is still not over Angel Garza getting up into his wife and his family's face. And hence the whole vigor behind this storyline and Lio Rush and Garza feuding. But anyway, Lio Rush had to focus because once again Lio Rush, he had to represent NXT and 205 Live as the champion. The Mop. And you can tell now they're using that weird icon in his Titantron like a mop with MLTH, Man of the Hour. I guess that's a thing now. I don't know if that's going to go into merchandise. We'll see. I just thought that was something subtle. Anyway, Akira Tozawa versus Lio Rush. Akira Tozawa, both men, they go shoulder to shoulder for a test of strength at first. And Akira Tozawa, he shoulder blocks Lio down, only for Lio to kip up. And Leo's like, okay, this is the old school Lio. I see what you're bringing here. This is like, the Lio that's comfortable, but knows what he's in there with. and then both men, they jockey for position with each other, and they both get to a stalemate. Okay, nice little exchange, filling out process, as they both went for their finishers early, but from a bottom rope standpoint, where, jump up, senton, and jump up splash, just to be like, I can get you that fast in this move. But then came the psychology here, where both men go for a handshake, and they do get a handshake, but they both go for a kick, and they're holding each other's leg up. Both men, they bring down the leg, okay, it's all good here. And then Akira Tozawa with the capitalize later on because he knocks the spit out of Lio Rush's mouth with, once again, pick out jab. Man, that's got to be like the fastest right I see in WWE. Anyway, Lio, he gets back into the game. He attempts a suplex from the apron, not once, but twice, including a sunset style. Akira Tozawa's holding on for his damn life. I'm like, okay, I can't remember the last time I saw a suplex from the apron. All I know is that happens, it's going to be bad, okay? Akira Tozawa, he eventually gets the better of Lio Rush by senton bombing him on the apron. Ouch. And then a fireman's carry plus slam for a nice fall. Nothing special, though. Suicide dive denied, but he changes the momentum as he always does and goes for that tumbleweed senton off the apron. Again, sentons is Akira Tozawa's specialty, besides being a striker. Missile drop kick that had so much momentum, it stood Lio straight up for a moment, and then he collapsed to the ring. But too close to the ropes. Can't get a win there. Both men are exchanging for a while. This right here was another exchange that I could not write or remember for my life. I lost how much count of kicks and strikes there were. All I know is by the end of it, each man dropped each other with pump kicks. Again, I was like, damn! Anyway, Akira Tozawa with a waist lock, but Lio Rush, he snaps out of it, catches him with a pump kick, and then another kick that actually knocks both men out again. But then Akira Tozawa, he gets another kick to the back of Lio's head. Both men are on the apron. I'm like, stop going for the suplex spot. Stop going for the suplex spot. And then out of nowhere, holy hell! Akira Tozawa pulls off a snap suplex from the apron to the floor. Both men are down. And thank God Lio Rush turned his body. Otherwise, he probably could have landed on his head. That looked nasty regardless, though. Jesus. Near double count out. Not over yet. Then we get more kicks and more kicks. Lio Rush, though, gets two great kicks in to the point that he literally, I think, collapses Akira Tozawa unconsciously for a second because he knocks the mouth guard out of Akira Tozawa's mouth, which, of course, he uses to prevent a knockout. And he tries to get it back, can't get it back, okay? We get a bunch of kicks, and then he goes for his come-up stunner. That gets countered into another snap suplex by Akira Tozawa. I don't even know how Akira Tozawa is aware of what's going on at this point. Finally pulls off the suplex with a bridge, one of the best executioners of it that usually picks up the win for him. Not enough. I had to imagine he was still a bit delirious from those kicks from earlier. He finally goes for his top rope senton bomb at the game's Lio Rush position, but eats knees and literally falls torso first, flat on the mat. So Lio Rush, he goes for his final hour and splashes Akira Tozawa while he's trying to get up. Back first. Ouch. But he's like, no, I'm going to make sure that's enough. So what does he do again? Boom. Final hour again when Akira Tozawa is actually turned up on his back, belly first, and hits the second final hour for the win. 1, 2, 3. Lio Rush does it again. Good grief. 4 days, 2 title defenses, 1 a triple threat, and 1 against Akira Tozawa, who already somewhat faced the Survivor Series, and the man of the hour pulls it out again. Straightforward, clean, competitive match and win. Well done by him. By the way, one more thing I want to know. Corey Graves, stop using Twitter if you're not going to use it for good. Maranello, I hope you are doing okay. I hope you return to NXT. And I hope Corey learns to shut the hell up. Conspiracy theories abound. Maranello doesn't need that. If he deleted his Twitter because he wants to stay away from all that, I hope that's all it was for. I hope Maranello does return to NXT because I got to admit, I was a little turned off from NXT this week because Tom Phillips was on commentary. But I digress. Blow my ass. My voice has almost been blown out from friggin' events I've gone to, and I'm still talking. So there you go. Now, what's ironic here is all these events we've talked about, folks, they came into play with this week's episode of 205 Live that emanated from Birmingham, Alabama, because it recapped not only Survivor Series, but it also recapped NXT. We just did that for you in extended edition. Now we finally get to the whole main course of this series. 205 Live for this week. And thank you, actually, to Tom Phillips, who actually pointed out this week's episode number, which we'll talk about later on, and towards the end, we refer to one of the OGs of the Cruiserweight division. This marks episode number 155, but it's also very special because this week marks the 3rd year anniversary of the 205 Live brand. Congratulations to 205 Live, and that's why, like I said, 205 Live matters. It's still going, and it still is growing. And I thought it was a very nice episode, but we're not going to talk about it as a whole. We're, of course, going to break it down for you. So we already talked about what it started with. The recap. Survivor Series NXT. Now we get into the show. Commentary team, Tom Phillips, and English. Yeah, Tom Phillips, man. So we first learned that our main event tonight is, once again, Jack Gallagher versus Angel Garza. These two are no strangers to each other. They faced each other a number of times. I believe they faced each other at least once now on both NXT and 205 Live. This is their 3rd encounter one-on-one. And again, we keep asking, what does Jack need to do? He needs to get a win or go somewhere else and redefine yourself, man. We're going to talk more about that later. So before all that, we go to our opening match. And really, this episode was a theme I like to call the OGs versus the new blood. Because you have the originals of 205 Live involved in this week's episode versus the late up-and-comers now from NXT really making a name for themselves now on 205 Live at the OG's expense. Or so they think. Our opening match, of course, was Raul Mendoza versus Arya Daivari. These two are no strangers to each other. Raul Mendoza has really showcased himself strongly on the 205 Live brand, picking up wins in both single and tag competition with tag partner Leah Rush against the likes of Tony Nese and Arya Daivari. But this was a one-on-one encounter, and Arya Daivari had a lot of mixed fortunes ever since the later half of this year. And Raul Mendoza, I always thought him as just the enhancement guy, but he finally showed me he could win some stuff here. This match, though, was a little different for me, in essence. Chris, your thoughts on this match, Raul Mendoza and Arya Daivari?
I actually liked it. I was really surprised with the two that were in there. I like Raul Mendoza. I'm always butcher his name, forgive me, people. But then I've always been a big fan of Daivari. His heel work is like top notch, one of the best heel work in anything in WWE, NXT, 205 right now. He's just phenomenal as working as a heel and the psychology and everything. And I was very happy how the match came out. I was very happy that Daivari won the match. That was really impressive, and I actually really liked this match a lot.
All right. Fair enough. And yeah, I mean, it was, your cell opener. Arya Daivari is one of the only ones in WWE that truly knows how to elicit, it seems like, heel heat from the crowd, even at their most tiring, because, again, you got the booze, and I guess that's what he lives for. But this was a nice back-and-forth exchange. Raul Mendoza controls the early half of the match and controls the ring, constantly hurricaneing Arya Daivari. And then eventually, Mendoza, he goes for a springboard, but he's like, oh, I see you move. So he stops himself, uses the ropes to change his direction, and literally just shoots off like a bullet diagonally and suicide dives into Arya Daivari. A very nice move. And then he goes back in the ring, and if that didn't wake up the crowd, I don't know what will. That shot to Daivari and that face made me feel it. Ouch. But then following this, Arya Daivari gains control of the match after Raul Mendoza goes for a springboard, and he gets pushed off to the floor. And then side headlock, Daivari controls the pace of the match and controls the crowd. And then Raul, he fights out of it, gets tossed to the corner, some weird arms drag slam, goes for his Persian splash, denied, hits ribs first, that had to hurt. Mendoza gains control with a lot of kicks, springboard kicks off the ropes, I might add, and then pulls off a little bit of Ray Phoenix action, walks the ropes, get a missile drop kick in. Wicked Uranagi, though, by Arya Daivari. Man, I want to see that compared to Rock. I want a comparison between those two because I think he got more height on that than The Rock did. That was emphatic. Very good move. Yeah. But then he hits a kick and then swing around slam. A very ingenious move by Mendoza. Apparently it does not have a name yet. But then we get pump kick countered into a super kick. Hammerlock Lariat, though, gets countered into a couple of other kicks. But then towards the end, where Raul is trying to set up some move, I don't know what his finisher is still to this day, Arya Daivari finally pulls off his Hammerlock Lariat and gets the win. Finally builds some momentum for himself. So it's a bit of one-upsmanship here as Daivari now tries to find his place in the 205 Live roster and its current inauguration under NXT. But he talks about how this is my house. Prove the point here, he picks up the win. And we'll see what happens and how this might lead towards him going after a Cruiserweight Championship opportunity. A good opening match. But then following this, we get more of what the story is of the night. Jack Gallagher, Angel Garza. Jack Gallagher, video vignette, he basically says, I'm going to make no excuses, okay? Lady Luck has had less best fortunes for me, but I'm here to remind people why I am technically proficient, and I need this win, or I'm not sure what to do. Again, the man on the verge of breaking down or even quitting, I think. Anyway, Guys is like, who cares what he thinks? It's all about what I want, okay? And what I want, I get. And Leo Rush, I demand a Cruiserweight title match. Tonight, I'm going to clip the wings off Jack. Angel Garza as pompous as ever.
Yep.
Anyway, following this, we get some nice tweets from the 205 Live originals talking about, their moments and how proud they are of how they built this brand. They did it themselves. Celebrating 3 years. Proud to be on 205 Live, continually proving why it is the most exciting hour of television every week on the WWE Network. So I thought that was very nice, too. Then we get a debut. The governor, Danny Burch, only like, botch, Titantron guy, you're fired. Freaking 205 Live, goes to Danny Burch, then Only Lorcan, then go back to 205 Live, then goes to Danny Burch, and Danny damn Burch, get your damn act right. Damn. Who the freak is in charge back there during 205 Live? Come on, people. Have some proficiency and professionalism. I mean, what can you say here? It's Danny Burch's singles debut on the 205 Live roster, as he's now part of the Cruiserweight division, and the governor beat the crap out of a local jobber. So, Chris, your first impressions of Danny Burch's singles debut, and what do you expect to see from him?
Loved it. I thought it was really well done how they did it. They didn't put him up against anybody. He had to establish himself, so they put him up against a local wrestler. Support all your independent promotions, people. And like I said, he put up against a local wrestler. He did really well. It showcased Danny Burch as a single wrestler, because a lot of people don't realize he used to be a single wrestler back in the day. Like I said, he's been doing this tag team with Lorcan on and off for a long period of time now. So this is his first crack at getting a singles opportunity, and I think he's going to deliver in the future. I think he's got a lot of opportunities to have a lot of interesting matchups with different people on 205 Live and NXT roster as a single star, with the absence of Only Lorcan right now, which hopefully he does come back soon. But right now, like I said, it's Danny Burch time, and I'm hoping to see what he does next.
Yeah, I thought it was very showcasing. Hey, they give the jobber the chance. Even the jobber got a few shots in, but I mean, Danny Burch, he pulled him out in midair, literally grabbed his foot, ankle lock. There was uppercuts, press slams, and then a headbutt that dropped him where he stood. Nice suplex spot. Apparently, his finisher is what's being called the Hangman's DDT. Top rope draping DDT, drops where he stood, pin him 1, 2, 3. Welcome to 205 Live, Danny Burch. Can't wait to see what else you bring. And that's the beauty of this. With the fact that 205 Live is encompassing NXT, you're going to see more different talents being showcased and meshing with each other across NXT, NXT UK, 205 Live. It's more, competition and more opportunities to showcase yourself and really define yourself against the best in the world. So I think this is all good for 205 Live. The roster is growing and the brand still lives, despite criticisms. All right, and Danny Chance even broke out one point during this match, so hey, I guess it's working. Following this, we go back into what they keep encompassing about. They recap basically what happened back at this whole weekend, and they also talk about how after the NXT Cruiserweight title match, Kiddo says, thank you, you're the man, you're the champ. Leo's like, you always push me, man. Thank you for a great match. But then God's like, hey, you're going to keep denying me, and you want me? And then Leo just explodes. And it took Kyotozawa and referees and everybody to stop him from going after him. Yeah, Leo Rush versus Angel Garza, 3-2. I lost count at this point. It's got to be imminent for the title, okay? There's no way that this blood feud's over. In my opinion, next way you go from here, 2 out of 3 falls. And make sure it's definitive once and for all. I can't wait to see if it happens, and I honestly hope it happens during NXT. Because let's face it, NXT respects the Cruiserweight division. It'll be better received, the title match on NXT, than it will be on 205 Live. Again, I feel like they need to really bring 205 Live to full set after that one episode showcase. But you need to try and balance the way you do competition versus recaps. That's my only criticism about it, as we talked about in our last episode. But I digress. Now we get to our main event. Once again, it is Angel Garza versus Jack Gallagher. And while the match was great, the story being told here was not just during the match, it was after. Chris, take it away. Your thoughts on this match, your takeaways from this match, and also the post angle.
Perfect. Yes, man, this is what I've been expecting out of gentleman Jack Gallagher for a while. I've been pleading for it. Make a decision what you want to do. Make a decision what you want to do. Match started off really competitive, back and forth, but I like the storytelling. You see the gentleman's getting frustrated. You know, he's hit his headbutt. He's hit the gentleman's drop kick. He's giving Angel Garza everything he's got. And these two beat the shit out of each other back and forth. They had a
Yeah.
competitive match. These two were incredible in the ring together. Angel Garza getting the win with the wing clipper. And like I said, it was innovative how he ended up getting. I'm going to go brain dead now. But anyways, I believe what was gentleman Jack Gallagher jumped off the ropes, and then he was able to catch him into the wing clipper and get the pin.
Correct.
It was incredible. And then the aftermatch, you know, you hear Aiden English, and I was thinking for a second, he's going to attack Aiden English here because he hits that headset right off Aiden English. I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
I said, no, I was thinking this was going to happen. Oh no. But, you know, he snaps. He's throwing the chairs at the referee. He completely snaps. And that's what I was hoping he was going to finally do. Because how many times can you lose before you finally just snap and you've had enough of it? And Drake Maverick trying to stop him. Then he ends up headbutting the general manager at the end. Well done. I had to say this match and the aftermatch was perfectly well done. This is like easily my number 3 of my favorite matches this year so far on 205 Live.
Wow. All right, so let me go ahead and go through some of the clips. Again, the story here was Jack Gallagher. He is a man under, shall we say, emotional distress because he has been on a losing streak everywhere. And now it's even come to the point that I thought that they're trying to set up Aiden English versus Jack Gallagher because he hears what Aiden English has been saying about him. And English giving, of course, just his intelligent thought, which, again, I agree a lot with. But Jack Gallagher is taking it as heavy criticism and doesn't like it. And I thought at one point we're going to get these two coming to blows with each other. But anyway, this match. So Garza, of course, he goes straight after the pants rip. Stop! And Jack Gallagher denies that. And then Jack is just constantly grounding him, proving how technically proficient he is, trying to keep him grounded in the ring, but Garza keeps squirming his way out to the ropes, okay? Eventually, we get the part where he's like, shake my hand after exchange, and all he's asked for is shake my hand. Jack Gallagher refuses to and ends up getting slapped in the face, and Garza just yells, shake my hand! What is it about Aiden English and the Garza family, man? First Puerto Korea, now Garza. Good grief. Anyway, Jack Gallagher hits an overdose offense. He goes into the ropes, stands up, upside down, and denies Garza from doing anything by just putting a foot out in front of him. I thought we were getting like traditional Gallagher back again. Like, okay, maybe he's going back to his old group. Maybe this is what he needs to do to get some momentum. For a little bit of that, we got that for a while. But then Garza capitalizes once again. Drop kick to the inner thighs, and then pants come off. I'm pretty sure freaking Naja McGinnis and Aiden English had an orgasm. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, they did.
They're weird. Even Beth Phoenix isn't that weird. Anyway,
yeah.
Garza with kicks galore and a pop-up kick to the ribs worked on the ribs constantly on this match. Not through submissions and stretch holds, just constant strikes. That was the story of this match here. That was what Garza was targeting. Assisted superplex and then another kick for a nice near fall. Very ingenious way to use the ropes. Garza constantly showing frustration, wants Jack to give up, so he locks him in a chin lock. Once again, working the ribs, rearranging his body. Gallagher, he gains some control, finally gets out of it, and then gets drop kicked out of midair in ribs first. Ouch. Then we get knees to the ribs, and then finally Gallagher, he starts capitalizing again, and then these two are just, like you said, beating the shit out of each other. At one point, though, it ends where Jack Gallagher finally puts up the headbutt, but somehow, off the other side of the ropes, Garza with enough wherewithal rebounds off the ropes and super kicks Jack's head off. Both men are down in the middle of the ring. How the hell does that happen? Gallagher then finally just goes into, I think, an emotional breakdown. And this woke up the crowd too, because all he's doing is clubbing the hell out of Angel Garza, at least 15 hits, I think, and letting his emotions get the best of him. Eventually, though, following that, we get gentleman's drop kick countered, and then moonsault as Garza was going for it, going to the crowd. He gets top of the ropes, and then Jack Gallagher hits a drop kick from the side, and then finally hits the gentleman's drop kick. Garza, though, incoherently falls close to the ropes. Gallagher forgets to grab the freaking leg, closest to the ropes. 1, 2, 2 and 7/8 foot on the rope. Jack, what is it with wrestlers forgetting to grab that leg? Coño! Anyway, following this, he goes for a guillotine hold, holds it for most of the portion of this match. He figures, okay, I can't pin the guy. Maybe I can submit him. Trying to go once again, cooler head, going back to his technical background. And for a while, he had this guillotine hold lock. However, he eventually, Garza gets out of it, but Jack Gallagher still in control. He goes back to the top rope and plans to hit, I think, his missile drop kick. But like you said, somehow gets caught by Garza, literally sets him up for the wing clipper, and Garza wins 1, 2, 3. Garza, once again, I think now he's beaten Jack Gallagher 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
That's it, dude. You're done as far as I'm concerned. And Garza, of course, walking to the stage. And then we see Jack Gallagher in disgust and distraught again. He walks around the ring, and Garza's just looking on. And then he just suddenly goes after he was his head, like he said, throws that off as he hears in English talking about him and the match. And then he just, pushes the table, bit over, throws water, pushes the monitor. It looks like he's going to go after the ref. Even at one point, go after the ref with a chair. Garza's just looking on. At this point, we don't know what the hell Jack Gallagher is going to do next. He's a danger to everyone that's around him right now, it seems. So they bring out 2 security guards. Why 2? I don't know. But one gets thrown the barricade, the other one gets the shit beat out of him in the ring. At this point, it brings out general manager. Yes, he's still general manager. I'm glad to see that. Drake Maverick. By the way, they also point out come January, it would be Drake Maverick's 2-year anniversary as GM. I don't know about you, but I think ever since he took over for 205 Live, he's pretty much done a stellar job. I would grade him at least 98%. He's made 2 dumb mistakes, in my opinion. But beyond that, I congratulate him for all he's done. He's done an incredible job with the brand.
Yeah.
Anyway, following this, though, Drake Maverick's like, stop what you're doing. You want to get suspended? And you hear more jabbing of words. And Jack Gallagher, not a single word, just headbutts the hell out of him. Puts on with no emotion whatsoever, it seems, and just walks away. The end. Okay, so what the hell is next for the gentleman? That is the story coming out of this episode. And when is Lio Rush going to challenge Angel Garza again for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship? Because in my opinion at this point, Lio Rush, I think, wants the match more than Garza because Garza is egging Lio Rush on. So again, make the 2 out of 3 falls match. As far as the gentleman, it would not surprise me if he's suspended. Or if they try like some sort of apology angle. Or he comes out next week, no music, walks out, beats the crap out of everybody, and maybe even beats the crap out of any English. There's a lot of different elements going on right now in 205 Live between NXT and 205 Live, particularly, and the OGs and the newcomers. And even English seems to be involved in it now, too, per se. So I have no idea what directions are next. But overall, 3rd-year anniversary episode, the storytelling, the debut of Danny Burch, the opening match, the closing match, but the epilogue, I thought it was a really good episode. So, on a scale of 5, I'd probably give it a solid 3 3/4 because I feel like the opening match was a little slow per se. But hey, it does give Arya Daivari some give now in 205 Live, and this set up the idea of the OGs are not ready to put aside themselves. They made this brand. They don't want these newcomers to take it over. So I give it 3 3/4. What would you grade this week's episode of 205 Live?
4.5.
Really?
I'm about to say, this is where I'm going to disagree with you on the opening match. You have to think of the opening match as an old school kind of feel. Daivari has that old school mentality of a light heavyweight cruiserweight wrestler. If you think about wrestlers that are competing, and like I said, because you and Cindy recommended watching IWGP in New Japan and watching a lot of the matches from the junior heavyweight division, they had that slower paced style. That kind of reminded me of what Daivari was doing. He was working the crowd at slow paced style as a heel and everything like that. So I thought that match was really well done, how they did it. I thought Danny Burch's debut, showcasing his ability as a single star, was the right step in the right direction with him. And that main event with the storytelling and Jack Gall and the gentleman, and how you could see how the story was unfolding, how he was starting to get aggravated. And the only reason I'm giving you a 4.5 for the whole show is because they could have done one thing that would have made it a little bit interesting. They could have done, they missed out on it, is when Angel Garza, they have the whole storyline about him with Leo Rush, that his foot's on the rope, and that's how he lost, but his foot was on the rope, he had controversy. They had an opportunity, they could have pulled some kind of shenanigans again and let the gentleman actually win with him doing that, and then had some controversy, and then refs come out and say, look at the replay and stuff like that. Then that could even infuriate the gentleman even more, and then had him even more angry because he thought he won the match, and then ended up not winning because he got his foot on the rope. That's the only thing I would recommend, since they've been doing that storyline with Andrew Garza. They could have done it just a little differently. Well, no, I thought this was a very well done show tonight, or the other day, and I've given it a 4.5 because I thought it was really well done from top to bottom.
All right, I guess that's fair enough. I could give it a. I was thinking about 4 actually, but then I was thinking about, there was like so points in the match. I was like, I don't know. And then I think about Real Mendoza and how, between NXT, I don't want him becoming like, back in the original way of NXT, where it's like have great matches, constantly lose. So I was just fearing they were just going back to that avenue. But okay, I'll give it a 4. I'm just gonna go 4, just nice even 4. But yeah, I thought. Like I said, there's a lot to think about now about, okay, all right, Bari, are you going to continue your momentum from here? Are you going to go to NXT and prove your point there? Aiden English, are you going to get in another wrestling match now against Jack Gallagher? Are you going to have a sit-down interview with Jack Gallagher? Leo Rush, are you going to challenge Angel Garza and give him what he wants? Or Angel Garza, are you going to keep pushing this further till you get what you want? So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of different stories going on here as far as the Cruiserweights and the Cruiserweight title picture. So, yeah, I'll give you that, but I'll go for it, just even 4. All right, so with that being said, we just went through a week of Cruiserweight wrestling. Now we're going to go ahead and just get into some freeform discussion with some simple stances. So, Chris, what's on your mind? It's been a little bit of time. What's on your mind you want to discuss as far as Cruiserweight wrestling goes and simple stances?
Well, I just recently on my channel, The Holiday Break, I did an episode about WWF Light Heavyweight title. I know me and you've done an episode before on The Holiday Break about the WCW versus WWE Cruiserweight Championship, and I got to thinking after I got done with that episode. We have all these Cruiserweights, like I said, on 205 Live, NXT, and NXT UK. Would it be more interesting if we're not going to ever get a European title in NXT UK? I feel like they're never going to do it anytime soon. Why can't we bring the NXT Light Heavyweight title over to NXT UK? You have a lot of wrestlers that are falling that category. That would give another title for people from 205 Live NXT to jump over to NXT UK, or vice versa, to defend and have another championship to challenge for. Not besides just the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, you could have the NXT Light Heavyweight Championship and put it as the NXT UK brand and have it be defended on either 205 Live or NXT. That give them a second title, another way to showcase it. Give the mid-card title to the NXT UK brand, and it'd be able to be showcased in other brands as well.
I like that because that's a different direction, considering when you pick up mid-card title for the brands, it's like regional, it seems. You got the Intercontinental, you got the United States, you got the North American. So if you're not going to do the European, why not do something a more weight class based that shows flexibility in both the wrestlers and what wrestlers can go for? And again, I do feel like NXT UK does need a title for itself to bring on between NXT UK and NXT. Similar to what they do with the Cruiserweight title between 205 Live and NXT. So yeah, and I can figure out already 2 people that could be a part of that. Ligero and Travis Banks still figuring out who's the better of the 2. That could be something they could go for. When you think about NXT UK, they got a heavyweight picture right now. They got a deep women's picture right now. But they don't really have a mid-card picture right now. You just got a bunch of these wrestlers forming unique tag teams, just wrestling per se. And right now, the biggest story in NXT UK is faction warfare. So why not do something like that gives people singles chances? Like Flash Morgan Webster, who, I don't know if he ever going to get a title besides maybe something like that. Mark Andrews, Noam Dar, several people. Jordan Devlin even, for that matter. Why not do something like that, okay? And that way you bring more focus to your mid-card picture. Or you can call it a mid-card picture, per se. If you're not going to do like a regional for the European title, yeah, I completely agree, light heavyweight. And that would also allow you to compete against certain people in NXT. Shane Thorne, for example, who wants to prove he's the best, even though he lost to Mansoor. I can see him going after that. I think that's a brilliant idea. And again, it encompasses everything under the NXT banner. But it gives more leeway for people to go after something between NXT and NXT UK. Because again, those two brands, they do collide with each other. And considering we got Worlds Collide coming up, which is exclusively NXT versus NXT UK, I can't wait for that. And I hope it's like a takeover level type show. That's a great way to introduce that title. So I like that a lot. Okay.
And then you also got half the roster on NXT UK. Think about it, 50% of the male roster meets the criteria to be on 205 Live. So you could introduce that title, and that would actually, because I think 50% of the male roster is in that cruiserweight weight limit.
I think the only ones that don't work is freaking, if you're looking at mid-card picture, it's freaking Ashton Smith and what's his name? Saxon Huxley.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, the bottom line is this. NXT UK needs some other title, okay? The brand is still very young. They're not even 100 episodes in. Honestly, I don't see them introducing a mid-card title per se of any sort till their 100th episode, or if we're lucky, their next takeover. But they definitely need something else besides faction warfare, tag division, women's, because you got too much talent, it seems, right now, after nothing. Yeah, they're proving who's the better wrestler per se in a feud, but is it going to lead to something unless your name is Tyler Bate or Jordan Devlin? I don't think so. You need something. All right. So let's see here. We think about the fact that 205 Live now is 3 years old. And we got these battles now of OGs versus the newcomers. But as far as the newcomers go, we got the Governor from NXT UK. And that's really about it. Nobody else from the UK really has come over yet. So I'm just wondering, here's just an idea. Do you think they should bring in the likes of Ligero or Travis Banks or even Jordan Oliver, for example, in the 205 Live? Who do you think should come over from NXT UK and compete more on 205 Live? You know, to bring some more vasticity to it. I know we already talked about a couple of names before, but I'm just thinking about right now with the whole Worlds colliding NXT versus NXT UK and the way that the Cruiserweight division right now is really trying to reshape itself. And we don't know where Oni Lorcan stands, so I don't think we're going to get 1-2 back at this point because it looks like Biff wants to go back in the Indies for reasons. Maybe he thinks that 205 Live is like a glass ceiling that he can't shatter or they won't let him shatter. I don't know. But honestly, I'm just right now kind of in a state of analysis because I'm trying to think what there is to talk about as far as, you know, growth, reinvention, progression of the 205 Live division and brand. And right now I'm just figuring that they're still in the building stages. So I just wonder if more talent is the answer because you can't have a tag title yet because they don't have a tag division. Or do you just try and bring more 205 Live awareness to the UK per se? I guess my stance for tonight is 205 Live, should it be further influenced in the UK?
Yes.
Okay.
You have enough of a roster on the NXT UK. We're talking about this, or 205 Live roster. If you just look at just the 205 Live, you don't include anybody from NXT, for example, you only got 4 or 5 people on the roster. You have Kanellis that's not come back yet from his sabbatical he's doing right now. Lorcan's gone right now with his sabbatical he's doing, but both wanting to be released. So you lost 2 people there. Brian Kendrick's trying to take a leave of absence and a break. There's 3. You lost 3 guys right there. They need to do something and add more people to it. So why not bring somebody like a Tyler Bate in, for example? He's wrestled on 205 Live. We just talked about it on our last episode. He was on one of my top 25 matches on 205 Live. Because people do forget Tyler Bate did wrestle on 205 Live.
Yes.
Bring him in, big strong boy, and he'd be really credible after his competition match he had with Walter at that last takeover. He's really credible to take out anybody in that 205 Live division. Like I said, he's got the credentials being the first NXT UK, or the WWE UK champion. I'm still going to call it the NXT UK title. That's what it should have been called in the first place.
Thank you.
But he's still, like I said, he's first UK champion. He's got the credentials. Like I said, NXT Tag Champion, that would be a good idea to start. But or you could do Devlin. If you're not going to ever give Devlin the opportunity to be the WWE United Kingdom Champion, then put him on 205 Live and let him run that Cruiserweight division. Because people forget, Devlin was also on the show. I do not believe, off the top of my head, this is where your expertise comes in. I do not believe he ever wrestled a match on 205 Live, the show itself, but I know he was on there when they had that horrible thing. We won't talk about his name ever again on the show. But however, I don't think he ever wrestled a match.
No, he didn't.
But that would be a good opportunity for him.
Okay. So yeah, again, you need to get some international flavor per se. So I guess we'll see what happens. All right. Well, as always, we like to conclude with the next match on our top 25 recommended 205 live matches of
Oop,
all
I
time.
had one more for you.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Now wait for the main event. So we just saw this issue with the gentleman Jack Gallagher now. Do you think at this time, with this going on, do you think, I've brought up before, but how realistic do you see it being where now he can compete on NXT now? He actually has this conversation with William Regal, and William Regal just, gets on to him for doing stuff, what he did to Drake Maverick, but then he goes, you know what, I see a lot of you in me, because if you really think about it, and I don't know how many matches you've seen of William Regal from before, when he first started in WCW, they have the same kind of styles and mannerism in a lot of ways. And wouldn't that be a great dynamic? They did it with William Regal and Tajiri. Why not do it with William Regal and the gentleman Jack Gallagher and let him teach him the ways of what William Regal knows? That way, if he's doing this darker side, which he just proved he can do, look at what he did after the match. Look what he did. If he can continue that and go further into it and have William Regal being like his mentor, having him in matches at NXT, bringing what he learns from William Regal into 205 Live. What do you think now about that, since we've seen this angle now, what happened with the gentleman on 205?
Considering how much William Regal and Drake Maverick work closely together now when it comes to 205 Live and NXT and the entire Cruiserweight division, I could definitely see that now as a possibility because, again, there's a lot of mannerisms that the gentleman and Regal both share. And it would not surprise me one bit that Jack Gallagher on this darker turn starts resorting to something like brass knuckles. If I could see a pairing of Jack Gallagher coming out being like, I have a new mentor now who has taken me under his wing, and we get this whole manager-student relationship between Regal and the gentleman that leads to the gentleman finally getting a Cruiserweight Championship match in a capacity where Regal is so much not influencing the match per se, but is pushing the direction. I would like that very much, as long as it doesn't involve, Regal coming to ringside per se for one of his matches and be like, hey, do this and do this and do this. Because right now, Regal, he is the most neutral GM type figure right now in all of professional wrestling. He has little to no influence in any matches or outcomes. He just steers the matches going forward as far as what's to come and leaves it to the wrestlers. So if I find that William Regal calls Jack Gallagher into his office, sees what's happening to him, and be like, I want you to compete here, and I'm going to watch your matches, and I'm going to help you, and I'm going to teach you closely. Or we see like Nigel McGuinness, for example, teaching him some things under NXT UK's Performance Center per se. Something has to give, but yeah, he needs one of those influences playing more now into his future. I can definitely see that now more as a possibility to answer your question. But right now, it would not surprise me based on the fact that we know how much Nigel McGuinness and William Regal can definitely impact the gentleman. It would not surprise me if I find Jack Gallagher going to a performance center in the UK, getting trained, guidelines, and, talked about by Nigel McGuinness, or going to NXT, working now in a closer, more office role, kind of like a reset, like, okay, I'm going to take a step away from in-ring competition and work under the watchful wares of Mr. Regal here and be his right-hand man. And then we see how that could lead him towards, I don't know, developing his own Cruiserweight title opportunity. I mean, Sid Scala, per se, has been pretty neutral as far as an assistant to Johnny Saint. But honestly, with Worlds Collide, I think that'd be a perfect setup right now for an impromptu match with Jack Gallagher versus Sid Scala. Assistant versus assistant, NXT versus NXT UK. So yeah, I could definitely see that happening, and I would actually love to see it. All right. I thank you for that. I think that's really great. Yeah, usually we do like 2 to 3, but I was like, try again. All right. So with that being said, I think now we're on, I lost count, 9 or 8?
Nine.
9! So I had to do it. We'll probably do like 2 next week to make up, but I just got the 1 this week. So now we're on number 9, our top 25 Cruiserweight matches of all time from the 205 Live brand. This is, of course, matches that took place under the 205 Live brand up to a certain date, which, of course, we'll get to as we get closer to like our top 3, I bet for sure. And, of course, this is talking about matches we recommend you all to see to learn the Cruiserweights, watch great Cruiserweight action, see compelling storytelling, see compelling title matches, per se, see compelling conclusions to feuds, or just general great action or what a Cruiserweight can bring. So with that, I went simple actually on this one because I was thinking about, okay, we talked about, cruiserweights. Who really impresses? Who's constantly evolving? Who's gaining momentum? Who's telling a story? Who's showing us what they can do, character and in-ring stand-wise? And I'm, of course, going further into the calendar year. My next match is actually a number one contenders match. Under the reign of Tony Nese as Cruiserweight Champion, I chose Ara Daivari versus Oney Lorcan from April 23rd, 2019. As Ara Daivari has been on this tremendous roll since the beginning of 2019, since coming back to 205 Live, proved a point, trying to bring Lince Dorado under his wing. That didn't work per se, but he was still influenced Lince Dorado up to this point. And then he's like, watch my match, I'll prove to you what I mean here. And he proved it here in a great near 20-minute bout where Oney Lorcan, who again, as I recently talked about, got the passing of the torch from Cedric Alexander to lead 205 Live into the future, but is trying to go after a cruiserweight opportunity of his own. He lost here in a very great, compelling match against Ara Daivari. So keep it simple. My pick was Ara Daivari versus Oney Lorcan. These two brought the fight to each other. They got the crowd into it. Tony Nese was watching at ringside. David Otunga, impromptu commentary. It was okay. But it was a compelling match, and it set up a cruiserweight title match for Money in the Bank. So that's my number 9. Ara Daivari versus Oney Lorcan, the one contenders match, April 23rd, 2019. All right, Chris, what's your number 9 on your list?
All right. November 14, 2018, Cedric Alexander versus Lio Rush.
Oh, nice.
This match had the build up here. You had Lio Rush, who had debuted pretty much on 205 Live, and we already know the controversy he had when he first got to NXT, writing a tweet about Emma leaving, blah, blah, blah. We already know about that controversy that happened. But he went to 205 Live. He won 5, if I remember correctly, he won 5 straight matches. Right. And then he lost the number one contendership match in a 5-way challenge. And then he ended up getting to Cedric Alexander. And I did not know at that time that would have been his last match in 205 before he has come back recently under the NXT banner for the Cruiserweight Championship. Correct. This match was really well done. You could see how confident and arrogant Lio Rush was this time, his personality. Look at Cedric Alexander. I knocked you on your down. I knocked you on your butt, huh? All the shit talking they were talking. And you didn't see that really much from Cedric Alexander too much. He let his ring work, his actions speak for him at this time. So for him to get a little bit frustrated, jaw-jacking with Lio Rush, made it a little more interesting, a little bit out of character for him, made it interesting. And it was a great match overall. If you want to see something that's fun, entertaining, tells a good story, and has a lot of action, this is why I would suggest my number 9 pick.
Yeah, because Cedric Alexander is a guy that really brings out himself through his emotion in the ring. But Lio Rush got under his skin several times, even one time going to the Performance Center when Cedric Alexander was training and calling Cedric out, which led to this match. There was for a while that you thought this match was going to happen, and it just didn't because Lio Rush was like, nah. The man of the hour works at his own time. You want the man of the hour, you need to earn your time with the man of the hour. And finally, it came through, courtesy of Drake Maverick. And you're right, this was, because he was in a very odd state at the time, because this was also after he recently defeated Akira Tozawa, not once, but twice. But, yeah, and this is also where he just went MIA for a long time. But it was a very compelling match, and again, Cedric Alexander proving why he is the soul of 205 Live, at least at the time. So, yeah, I think that was a very compelling pick. All right.
You gotta think he went to manage Lashley after. That's why he wasn't on 205 Live. He went to manage Lashley.
Yeah, that was something.
We'll forget those times.
If nothing else, it showcased his character and how annoying he could be as a mouthpiece. But oh god, I do not need to relive Lashley.
The only good thing we got out of that whole scenario was his singles match with Finn Balor for the IC title. Which was actually really well.
I completely agree. And you know what?
He could have actually possibly beat Balor for the IC title.
Yeah, because he came that close to doing it, almost pissing off Lashley, who of course was a former IC champion. But hey, I will say this: at least during that time, Lashley was bearable. Sorry, not sorry. Anyway, okay. Well, I think that's enough to conclude this loaded edition of a 205 Live rundown of 205 Live Matters. So again, ladies and gentlemen, let us know if you have any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, or inquiries on anything we discussed or anything we haven't discussed. Cruiserweight Wrestling, WWE Wise, NXT, 205 Live, NXT, SUK. In the comments down below. Appreciate y'all's viewership. And I think that will conclude this edition of 205 Matters. Chris, pleasure as always. This was one loaded episode. Hopefully they don't keep doing this. I like doing these specials, but doing this on even on a bi-weekly basis is taxing. Hopefully next week is just normal. With that being said, anything you want to plug and where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me on Facebook at Christopher Mace, on Twitter, Christopher Mace. I finally got an Instagram. I caved in, so I got an Instagram that I have no idea how the heck to work, so I only got 2 things on there. So you can find me on Christopher Mace. If you want to follow me, I got 2 things on there. Better than Stephen with 0. I got 2. But until I learn that a little bit better, I'm going to have to play with that some. You can check me out on my YouTube channel, The Holiday Christopher Mace. I have 97 subscribers. I'm really humbled and honored by that. That's crazy. Like I said, but he talks about 205 Live Matters all the time. We also have some other episodes of The Holiday Break that Noah's been a part of with the WWE Cruiserweight versus WCW Cruiserweight title as a centerpiece about the past of everything before we got 205 Live. And I also just did an episode recently about the WWF Light Heavyweight Championship, more a little bit in-depth details about it. So you can check those out. Got NWA Power reviews for each episode. We're going to episode 9 next week on that. God, Lee. He's got his baby with 205 Live. I got my baby with NWA Power. So it's always fun time. So check them out anytime. And like I said, Noah's been a guest on some of the shows. Can't wait to have him on an NWA Power review. We got to play role reversal again on this one soon.
Oh, good Lord. So much wrestling. I thought December's going to be light. No, it's not. Ah! But anyway.
Oh, it's actually been more crazier, too.
You're telling me. I'm like, bah! Wrestling, can you give me a break? Good Lord. Well, at least there'll be a break towards the holiday season of Christmas. But I digress. Anyway, thank you, Chris. It's always a pleasure, sir. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know more about me, though, know this. I'm just a simple man. Here's my shirt. And if you haven't figured it out by now, I am a lifelong fan of wrestling, not just sports entertainment. Wrestling, professional wrestling. Simple as that. So if you want to follow me and talk anything wrestling, the 5 brands of WWE or NWA or Ring of Honor, allegedly. I'm very skeptical on that company at this point. Impact Wrestling, All Elite Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, of course, my number 1, and independent wrestling in general. Support your local independent wrestling, folks. Then follow me on Twitter, NoDQ.com/Noah takes to my Twitter page, or at Foster1916 for those that hate URLs. Also, you know what? The hell of it. Evolution. I do have an Instagram as well. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's nfoster1916. Go ahead, follow me, #SupermanInLife. It's literally a hashtag that I created and own. I can't believe that. Anyway, yeah, I'm just waiting for somebody to do #SupermanInLife. It won't be besides me. So far, no one's done it. I've done Instagram now for at least a year. So if you want a nice, simple, good morning, some subtle wrestling humor in my stories, food, glorious food, and other fun stuff, yeah, you can follow me on Instagram, nfoster1916. Also, follow my simple YouTube channel at youtube.com/user/NoahFoster210, where you'll find all my videos in neat, organized playlists for you. At the heart of my series, #205 Matters, and all sorts of other predictions, simple takes, recaps, reviews, experimented series per se, pilots, simple stuff, all that type of fun stuff. It's all wrestling. Right here on my YouTube channel. I just broke 100 subscribers. Thank you all for supporting me over a year now. I've been a YouTuber. It's been a lot of fun. It will continue at my own pace and leisure. All fun in the name of wrestling. There's a ton of wrestling stuff coming up, as I said, and as he said, we have Into the Fire and WA Paper predictions. I will be doing quick, simple picks for Ring of Honor Final Battle because it might be the final time you see Marty Scurll whoop, whoop, in Ring of Honor before he goes somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely got to be part of that episode with you.
I'll keep you posted on that. As well as our finale to NJPW's World Tag Team League, and also the finale of NoDQ, Team NoDQ Predictions League, which of course includes WWE TLC. I'll also be going to an independent wrestling show called Chaos 5 right here in Toledo, Ohio. And I'll be doing predictions on that probably as well. And then basically from there, we finally get a breather until January. We'll talk more about that later. I'll have a wrestling video at some point, a YouTube update video next month. And speaking of NoDQ, support NoDQ. The reason I made YouTube, forever indebted to the NoDQ family. Go buy a shirt, go buy a cup, buy a tapestry, buy a sticker. Do it. Buy my shirt. NoDQ.com/merch takes you to the store, Teespring. I believe there's a sale now, 20% off your order if you use a code. If you follow NoDQ on Instagram, you'll know what that code is. I don't know off the top of my head. Anyway, go follow, go make a friend, attempt to troll virtue. Your opinions matter. Comment section, never forget the official website. Polls, columns, memes, gifts, reviews, recaps, sexy female pics. You name it, it's there. Primarily wrestling, WWE with a little bit of AEW. Stay tuned for me and my friend Eric on his channel, Near Reality Entertainment. We'll be doing, of course, the Wednesday Night War recap. That'll be restarting again coming soon after the holidays. And much more stuff. So I'm all over YouTube, whether it's Wrestling Rundown or with the holiday on my YouTube channel, NoDQ, etc. I'm all over the place. I don't know where I'm going to be anymore. And as always, I'd like to close. Support your wrestling outlets for big and small, and let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, elite wrestling community together. Simple as that. But with that being said, thank you so much, everyone who has tuned in. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to know when the next video might go up on my channel. Please discuss with me anything you want. I reply to everybody. I'm all about, openness and just, accepting one another's opinions for who we are. That's all we are. We're all wrestlers of our own design. But again, like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Follow me on Twitter. Share it with your friends on Twitter. Follow our Facebook group, hashtag 205matches. Not much activity goes on there, but it's mostly about Cruiserweight wrestling when we can discuss together. And until the next video, for I am your simple care. I hope you all enjoyed your Thanksgiving holiday. Like I said, we're heading into December, the close of 2019. Who knows what else awaits as far as wrestling goes and other stuff in life. And until the next video, treasure your families. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Enjoy life. Enjoy wrestling. And as always, I hope you all have a good night.
Have a good night, y'all.
And remember, I don't care if it does do improv sometimes at a Full Sail or doesn't even be on TV. It still exists. It still lives. And it still continues. 3 years and more. And here's to another 3 years for damn sure. 205 Live matters. Always.
Indeed.
NoDQ will always be SmackDown's #1. Okay, this officially concludes episode 45 of 205 Live Matters. Bye.
Goodbye.
All right. Take care. That's a wrap.